I buried my own corpse in the backyard that sweltering July afternoon, sweat stinging my eyes as I shoveled dirt over the shallow grave, all while my father's screams echoed from the house like the wails of a man who'd just lost his soul. But he hadn't lost anything yet, not until I slipped into his boardroom the next morning, wearing a suit that smelled faintly of his cologne and a smile that hid the knife I'd sharpen with every lie he ever told me. And the real kicker? My dead mother wasn't buried at all. She was me now. Her memories flooding my veins like black tar, demanding I make him pay for the swap that stole both our lives. It started 5 years ago, back when I was just Naomi Harper, the wide-eyed college freshman from that cookie-cutter suburb outside Chicago. The kind of place where everyone waves from their driveways but nobody really sees you. Dad, Richard Harper, the golden boy of biotech, CEO of Neuralink Innovations, was the king of it all. Picture him, tall, silver fox hair slicked back, always in those tailored Brooks Brothers suits, flashing that TED Talk smile at galas where he'd pitch his revolutionary neural implants. Bridging minds, one synapse at a time, he'd say, while Mom and I clapped like trained seals from the front row. Mom was the quiet force behind him. Dr. Elena Vasquez Harper, the neuroscientist who'd co-founded Neuralink with him right out of Stanford. She was the one who dreamed up the body swap tech, not for thrills, but for medical miracles. Imagine it, paraplegics walking again by piloting donor bodies, coma patients whispering through proxies. It was supposed to save lives. Instead, it destroyed ours. I never knew the full rot until that night in the lab. I'd come home early from a party at Northwestern, buzzed on cheap vodka and the thrill of my first real crush, only to find Dad's Escalade parked crooked in the garage. The house was too quiet, the kind of quiet that presses on your chest. Upstairs, Mom's office light was on, papers scattered, her laptop humming. I pushed the door open, and there they were, Dad looming over her, his face twisted in that vein-popping rage I only saw when quarterly reports tanked. "You're going to ruin everything, Elena," he snarled, his fist slamming the desk so hard her coffee mug shattered. "This whistleblower bullshit? You'll tank us. The FDA's already sniffing around those trial deaths." Mom didn't flinch. She was all fire, dark hair pulled into a severe bun, glasses perched on her nose like a weapon. "Those deaths were murders. Richard. You fudged the data on the implants. People are dying from neural overloads, and you're covering it up with bribes. I'm ending this." He laughed. That cold, boardroom bark. "End it? You're the one who signed off. Or have you forgotten? I have the emails." Lies. I could see it in her eyes, the betrayal cutting deeper than any scalpel. They'd built Neuralink together, but he'd twisted it into his empire, sidelining her, stealing credit, and now this, framing her for the cover-up. I froze in the doorway, heart hammering. "Dad? Mom?" My voice cracked like a kid's. He spun, eyes widening for a split second before narrowing to slits. "Naomi. Go to bed. This doesn't concern you." But Mom reached for me, her hand trembling. "Mia, run. Call the..." He moved like lightning. A syringe from his pocket, some sedative from the lab, and it plunged into her neck. She slumped, eyes rolling back. I screamed, lunging for the phone. But he was on me, his hand clamping my mouth, the other pinning my arms. "You think you can just walk away? You're in this now, kiddo." That's when he dragged us both to the basement. Not our cozy suburban basement with the ping-pong table, no. The hidden one beneath the wine cellar. The research annex he'd built without permits, shielded by his lawyer buddies on the zoning board. Cold concrete, flickering halogens, and in the center, the prototype chamber. A sleek pod like something out of a sci-fi flick, humming with coolant fans, wired to banks of servers that cost more than our house. "You want to expose me?" he hissed, cuffing Mom to the gurney inside. "Fine. But you'll take the fall for it. Both of you." He turned to me, syringe in hand. "The swap's ready. Elena's neural map loads into you. You'll wake up in her body, with her memories, her guilt. And when the feds come knocking, it'll be Dr. Harper confessing to the fraud. Her signature on the falsified reports. Her daughter, the junkie witness, corroborating the breakdown." I thrashed, but the needle bit my arm. The world blurred, a vortex of lights and screams. Last thing I saw, Mom's eyes locking on mine, mouthing "I'm sorry." When I woke, it wasn't in my body. Skin loose, joints aching like I'd aged overnight. I was in the pod, staring at hands veined and calloused, not mine, Mom's. Her memories crashed in, our wedding in Napa, my birth in that rainy Chicago hospital, the late nights coding the swap algorithm while Dad schmoozed investors. And the horrors, the first trial subject, a vet with PTSD, whose mind frayed in a donor body and ended up catatonic. Dad's voice in her head, collateral damage. Push forward. Worse, the betrayal. She discovered he'd been siphoning funds to offshore accounts, sleeping with his exec assistant, a perky blonde half his age, and worse, staging accidents for whistleblowers. One engineer, drowned in Lake Michigan. Suicide, the papers said. We stumbled out, head pounding. Dad was there, syringe in hand again, prepping to erase the swap. "Time to end this charade," he said, casual as tying his tie. But Mom's body was stronger than he thought. I grabbed a loose pipe from the wall, swung wild. It clipped his shoulder, buying me seconds. I bolted upstairs, locked myself in the guest bath, staring at the mirror, Mom's face, my terror. That's when the plan ignited. Not escape, revenge. He'd stolen our lives, pinned his sins on us. I'd become her, infiltrate his world, dismantle it brick by brick. Controversial? Hell yes. I'd frame the framers, leak what I shouldn't, burn bridges that'd leave innocents scorched. But justice in America isn't clean. It's a street fight with lawyers and lobbyists. First, I had to bury myself. He'd dose me with enough barbs to make it look like an OD. My addiction he'd been whispering about to neighbors for months, ever since I started questioning his late nights. I dragged my old body, limp, pale from the pod, wrapped it in a tarp from the garage. The grave was shallow, under the rose bushes Mom loved, the ones Dad always forgot to water. As dirt hit flesh that was once mine, bile rose. This was the crime I'd bear, dying for his sins, only to rise as ghost. He found the empty basement at dawn, pounding on doors, calling my name like he gave a damn. "Naomi, baby, where are you?" I watched from the attic vent, Mom's laugh bubbling up unbidden, dark, vengeful. By noon, sirens wailed. Cops digging up the yard, flashbulbs popping. Overdose, the coroner ruled. Dad's golf buddy. Case closed. He played the grieving father perfect, press conference tears. GoFundMe for youth addiction awareness. Inside, I seethed. Step 1. Infiltration. 2 weeks later, I stepped into Neuralink's gleaming lobby in River North. Mom's ID badge clipped to a pencil skirt, heels clicking like Judgment Day. Security nodded, facial rec matched, voice print too, laced with her faint accent.
Dr.
Harper, welcome back. Rough few weeks. Family matters, I said, channeling her clipped tone. Elevator to the 42nd floor, past execs who averted eyes. Dad's office, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the loop, skyline mocking the little people below. He was at his desk, scotch in hand despite the hour, staring at a photo of us, Mom. Him, at Disney World. All fake smiles. Elena. His voice cracked. Genuine for once. God. I thought. After Naomi, I closed the door, locked it. You thought wrong, Richard. Mom's memories supplied the venom. You killed our daughter. For what? Your empire? He surged up, face ashen. What the hell? The swap, it worked too well.
Your.
Her. But how? I leaned in, close enough to smell his fierce sweat. I'm us. And I'm here to collect. I slid a USB across the desk, files I'd pulled from Mom's hidden server in the basement. Falsified trials. Bribe ledgers. The engineer's suicide note forged in his handwriting. Leak this, and you're done. But first, confess.
To me.
He laughed. Shaky. You think you can play me?
You're in my house now.
One call to security. Make it. I pulled up my phone. Live stream queued to anonymous drops on Reddit. WikiLeaks. Every journo in Chi-Town. Your move. Daddy dearest. We danced that waltz for months.
By day. Dr.
Harper consulted, greenlighting audits that exposed oversights, layoffs for the guilty, stock dips that shaved millions off his shares. Nights, I haunted him, whispers in empty halls, emails from ghost accounts detailing his affairs, his Cayman slush fund. He'd jump at shadows, double down on therapy, pop Xanax like Tic Tacs. Power? He had it, lobbyists on speed dial. A senator in his pocket, but I had the truth. Mom's unyielding mind mapping every weak spot. Controversy brewed. Protests outside Neuralink, victims' families chanting, justice for the swap. Pundits on Fox and MSNBC duking it out. Was I a grieving widow or a corporate saboteur? I leaned in, gave interviews as Mom. Voice steady. My husband's tech promised hope. It delivered hell. We're suing for Naomi. For all of them. Class action loomed. Billions at stake. Dad countered with smears. Elena's unstable. Medicated after our girl's death. Lies that stuck. Because America loves a good tragedy porn. But the decisions? They gutted me. I greenlit a shutdown of active implants, hundreds yanked. Patients relapsing into paralysis.
Pain.
Necessary evil, Mom's voice echoed in my head. One night, I visited a trial widow in Englewood. Her husband's photo on the mantel. He walked again.
Thanks to them, she sobbed.
Now he's gone. I wanted to confess, I bore this too. Swapped into the villain's skin. Instead, I handed her a check from the slush fund. Anonymous. Mercy. Or hush money. You decide. The climax hit at the annual gala. McCormick Place glittering with Chicago's elite. Politicos.
Tech bros.
Celebs toasting innovation. Dad was there, gaunt in his tux, arm candy du jour clinging like a barnacle. I arrived as Elena, a crimson gown hugging curves I was still learning, diamonds from her safe winking like accusations. He cornered me by the bar, breath hot with bourbon. Enough games. Sign the NDA,
Take the payout.
or I expose you the swap, the body in the yard. They'll lock you up as a freak. My hand trembled on the stemware. Mom's memory flashed. Our first dance. Slow and sweet under string lights. Betrayed for this? You buried your daughter.
Richard.
For greed. His eyes darted, guests milling. Oblivious. She was collateral. Like you were supposed to be. Rage boiled. I smashed the glass. Shards scattering like stars. Collateral? She was your blood. Security swarmed. But I was faster, pulled the drive from my clutch. Tossed it to a reporter in the crowd. The one from ProPublica sniffing the story. Read it. All of it. Chaos erupted. Phones out. Flashes blinding. Dad lunged, grabbing my wrist. You bitch. Then the twist, his phone buzzed. Live on the Jumbotron, hacked feed from the basement cam I'd installed. The footage rolling, him dragging me, the syringe, the pod whirring. Gasps rippled. What the fuck is that? Someone yelled. He released me, staggering back. But I wasn't done. Mom's voice. Clear as day. Tell him. It's not over, Richard. Because I'm not Elena. Not fully. I leaned in, whispering so only he heard. The swap glitched. Her mind and mine, but mine lingered in hers. When you buried me, you buried an empty shell. She's out there. Waiting. His face drained to chalk. Impossible. Is it? I smiled. Mom's smile, fierce, unbroken. Sirens wailed outside. Feds swarming. He bolted for the exit. But they had him in cuffs before the valet. Richard Harper. You're under arrest for murder. Fraud. As they dragged him away. Screaming denials. I slipped into the night. Heart pounding. Victory? Or Pyrrhic? The implants saved lives too, kids walking. Vets healing. I doomed some for the many. Controversial as hell. But the real gut punch waited in the shadows of our old house. The one I'd deeded to a trust before the fall. I unlocked the basement door. Chains rattling like ghosts. There, in the dim glow, sat a figure, slumped, chained where he'd left me, not empty. Her eyes opened. My eyes. But aged by 5 years of hiding. Plotting. Naomi. Mom's voice from my old lips. We'd swapped back. Somehow, residual neural bleed. A failsafe she coded in secret. I'd been her puppet. She'd been mine. The body in the yard? A decoy. A lab cadaver doped to match. The revenge? Ours. Intertwined. Dad's trial made headlines. Life sentence. No parole. He died in Supermax. Terrified whispers of ghosts in his cell. Us. We vanished to the southwest. New names. New lives. Happy ending? Debatable. I miss my skin some days. The lightness of youth. Mom says it's freedom, shedding the old for the fight. But in quiet moments, staring at the desert stars, I wonder, who won the war? The betrayed. Or the betrayers we became. The desert wind howls like a banshee outside our adobe-ined house. New Mexico, far from Chicago's concrete jungle, but close enough to the ghosts. It's been 6 months since the gala. Since Dad's empire crumbled like a house of cards in a stiff breeze. Mom and I, stitched together in this bizarre neural quilt, sip chamomile tea on the porch, watching lightning fork the sky. She's in my old body now, 22 going on 40, lines etching her forehead from years I lived as her.
Me?
Elena's frame feels solid, earned, curves that turn heads in the co-op market, but ache like hell after a hike. You ever think about calling him? She asks. Voice mine but cadence hers clipped. Analytical. Dad? In his concrete tomb upstate? I snort, setting the mug down. What? For visitation hour chit-chat? Hey. Pops. Miss burying your daughters. She winces.
Fair.
The swap's aftershocks linger, phantom pains where memories bleed. Last week, I dreamed I was back in the pod, his syringe glinting, and woke screaming her name, my name, until neighbors banged on the wall. We're therapists now. Ironically, trauma recovery specialists are shingle reeds, helping vets untangle PTSD from implant scars. Poetic justice, or masochism, you tell me. But peace? That's a luxury we ain't earned. Not with the feds circling. Not with the lawsuits piling like snowdrifts. Neuralink's carcass is being picked clean, assets seized, patents auctioned, but the real vultures are Dad's old cronies. Senator Hargrove, the silver-haired hawk who golfed with him at Pebble Beach, the one who greased FDA palms. He's mounting a defense fund, painting Dad as a scapegoat for rogue elements. Translation: Elena Harper, the hysterical Latina whistleblower, and her delusional daughter. I saw it on CNN last night. Hargrove's jowls quivering. This witch hunt destroys American innovation. We need to protect our pioneers. Pioneers.
Right.
Like the ones who fried brains for stock options. Mom catches my glare at the TV. We could go back. Testify again. And what? Rehash the swap on the stand? Your Honor. My mom's in my body. And we're both out for blood? I pace. Bare feet slapping terracotta. They'd lock us in the funny farm. Not him in the ground. She's right.
Though.
The trial was a circus. 12 weeks of Chicago sleaze. Prosecutors parading victims. The vet's widow. The engineer's sister with her suicide photos doctored to show bruises that weren't there. Dad's defense? Smirks and suits. Claiming marital strife made Mom fabricate it all.
Dr.
Harper was unstable, his shark intoned, flashing psych evals he'd buried.
Me?
I testified as Elena. Voice steady under cross. He killed my daughter to silence me. Gasps from the gallery. Dad's eyes met mine across the room. Cold. Calculating. Like I was just another bug to squash. No terror then.
Not yet.
The twist came on day 47.
When I played the basement tape.
Grainy footage. But clear enough, him chaining me, the pod sealing with a hiss. Jurors wept, Hargrove's face purpled on the feed. Conviction swift, manslaughter for the trials. Murder 1 for the engineer. Conspiracy up the wazoo. Sentenced to die. But Illinois don't execute. Life it was. Rotting in Tams till it shuddered. Shipped to Stateville like yesterday's trash. We thought that ended it. Fools. It starts with a letter. Postmarked DC. No return. Mom slits it open over breakfast, quesadillas from the food truck down the block, and her face drains. Hargrove. Inside, grainy photo of our Taos safe house. Time-stamped yesterday. Scribble note. Pioneers protect their own. walk away, or we dig up the roses. My blood ices. The grave. He knows. Dad must have spilled in lockup, snitched for leniency, trading our secret for a cushier cell. Body swaps still classified, buried in sealed Neuralink files. But Hargrove's got keys to vaults we can't touch. We run, I say, already packing.
No.
Her eyes, my eyes, flash steel. We fight. Like before. Controversial? Understatement. Mom's plan. Infiltrate DC. Weaponize the swap's remnants. She stayed in my body for agility. Youth's edge for fieldwork, while I play Elena, the reformed exec testifying at Hargrove's ethics probe. But deeper, hack his network. Expose the web. Bribes to big pharma. Affairs with interns half his age. The works. Dark, tense, picture Watergate on steroids. With neural ghosts. We fly coach to Reagan. Hearts jackhammering. DC's a swamp, humid August air thick as lies. Monuments looming like judgmental fingers. Mom crashes at a youth hostel. Backpackers chic me. The Willard. Elena's Amex still gold despite the freeze. First meet, coffee with a ProPublica contact. The gala reporter who'd caught my drive. Jen, I say. Stirring black. Hargrove's gunning. You in? Her eyes narrow over soy latte. For the senator? Girl. That's career suicide. But after your tape? Yeah. What's the play? Access. I slide a fob, cloned from Mom's old badge. Backdoored into congressional servers. Plug this. Pull his emails. But it's hot, trace it. We're burned. She pockets it.
Smirking.
Risky. You sure?
No.
But Dad sends Echo, the engineer. Floating face down. Bubbles his last breath. For Naomi, I whisper. For all of us. Nights blur into stakeouts. Mom. In my skin. Tails Hargrove's limo from K Street bars to Georgetown brownstones. She snaps pics, him with a lobbyist. Handsy in shadows. I schmooze hearings. Elena's poise masking my rage, testifying on implant ethics. Dropping breadcrumbs. Senator. Your support for Neuralink, care to disclose donations. He blusters. Red-faced. Baseless innuendo. But sweat beads. Power slipping. His re-election polls tanking amid Hargrove Gate trending. Tension coils. One slip, Mom tailed too close. Ends up cornered in an alley by goons. Ex-Secret Service. Hargrove's muscle. Fists fly, she fights dirty. My old self-scrappiness from high school wrestling. Knee to groin. Elbow to throat. Bruised ribs. Split lip. But she ghosts them. Vanishing into metro crowds. Back at the hotel. I patch her up. Antiseptic stinging. This ends now. I growl. Taping gauze. We leak it all. Her laugh, mine bitter. And become the villains? Exposing swaps means outing trials. Innocence reliving trauma on prime time. Decision time. Controversial as a loaded gun. Leak selective, his dirt. Not ours. Or full burn, sacrifice privacy for purge. Mom votes, scorched earth. I hesitate. Ghosts of patience pleading. America's choice. Clean the rot. Or let it fester. We choose fire. Dawn raid on his office. Me distracting staff with Elena's charm. Mom slipping the fob into his desktop. Alarms blare 5 minutes in. We bolt. Sirens chasing taillights down the beltway. By evening, it's everywhere. emails dumping bribes, videos of accidental deaths Hargrove greenlit. Fox calls it deep state sabotage. CNN. Reckoning. He resigns in disgrace. Frog marched from the Hill, sputtering about foreign actors. Code for us. The swapped specters. But the cost? Jen scooped by AP. Her byline gold, but her marriage craters. Hubby bails. Scared of reprisals. A vet from our Taos group relapses. Unplugs his implant mid-scandal. Flatlines. Your fault, his widow texts. Guilt chews like acid. We slip back west. Aliases fresh. But the high fades. Mom's aging my body prematurely. Gray hairs at 23. Joints creaking.
Me?
Elena's ticker skips. Phantom youth mocking. Swaps unstable. Reversal looms. Or worse. Merge. Two minds in one skull. Madness. One night. Thunder crashing. She confesses over tequila. I coded the glitch on purpose. Back in the basement. Knew he'd try to erase us. My glass shatters. You what? Insurance. If he killed you, I'd live on in you.
But if we survived?
We'd be unbreakable. Betrayal.
Round 2. Deep. Slicing.
She'd gambled our souls. Pin the fall on me without consent. I bore your sins. I hiss. Your body. Your war. And you played God. Tears, mine, track her cheeks. For revenge. For us. I storm out. Rain lashing. Miles pounding pavement till lungs burn. Dawn finds me at a payphone. Dialing Stateville Collect. Richard Harper. His voice. Gravel. Elena? That you? Ghost.
Worse.
Your wife. And your daughter.
Pause.
His breath hitching. She knew. The glitch. She sacrificed me. Laughter.
Hello.
Welcome to the family.
Kiddo.
We all play the long game.
Click.
No closure. Just echo. Back home. Truce fragile. We meditate. Neural syncs to stabilize. Hours wired to a salvaged pod. Minds weaving tighter. Happy? Tragic? We're legends in dark web forums. The Harpers. Swap sisters or serial schemers? Debates rage. Heroes toppling titans. Or vigilantes dooming the vulnerable. As lightning fades. Mom squeezes my hand, her hand, once mine. We finish it together.
Yeah. Together.
Till the next grave calls. Fall creeps into Taos like a thief. Leaves turning blood orange against the Sangre de Cristos. Mocking the warmth we chase in flannel and fire pits. Mom and I are fraying at the edges now. Neural threads pulling. Dreams bleeding into waking. Last night, I woke convinced I was her at Stanford. Dissecting frog brains under fluorescent hum. Dad's flirtatious grin across the lab. She jolted awake too, gasping about prom night. My clumsy kiss with the quarterback under bleachers. It's merging, she whispers over yoga mats. Our shared voice a harmony of discord. We become one. Or we unravel. Unravel. Tempting. Some days. The revenge tours left scars deeper than bruises. Hargrove's suicide. Pills in his Georgetown tub. Note blaming the witches. Splashed across tabloids. Painting us as curses. Protests swell. Outside shuttered Neuralink sites. Signs waving swaps kill. Versus free the ghosts. Pundits feast. Podcasters calling us feminist icons. Preachers decrying unnatural abominations. America. Loving its monsters. But Dad's the anchor, dragging us back. Letters trickle from Stateville, smuggled via guards on his payroll.
Even now.
Elena's always been the puppet master. One reads, scrawl shaky. She coded the first deaths.
Not me.
Ask her about patient zero. Bullshit. Or the twist. Mom burns them unopened. But doubt festers. I catch her staring at mirrors, touching my old jawline like it's evidence. We visit, I say one crisp October morn, over huevos rancheros at the Sagebrush Inn. End this. Her fork pauses. And say what? Thanks for the trauma. Pop. Say goodbye. Or hello to hell. Drives brutal. 20 hours cross-country. Swapping shifts in our Subaru Outback. Playlist shuffling Springsteen to Selena. Ghosts in stereo. Billboards blur. Election ads. Mega church revivals. Make America neural again, stickers peeling on trucks. We talk, really talk, for the first time since the swap. Her regrets. Marrying ambition over love. Sidelining me for lab coats. Mine. The naivete that let him in. The controversial calls like dooming those implants. Choosing vengeance over vanishing. You bore my sins, she says. Eyes on taillights. But I bore yours, watching you die a little each time he lied. A crestline Stateville looms like a medieval keep. Razor wire glinting under gunmetal skies. Intakes a gauntlet. Pat-downs. Detectors beeping at hidden scars. Visitation room. Scuffed tables. Plexiglass dividers. Air thick with bleach and despair. He shuffles in. Orange jumpsuit hanging loose, gaunt. Hair wild. Eyes hollowed by solitary's bite. Richard, I start. Picking up the receiver. Mom's voice. But mine underneath. He leans in. Grin feral. The prodigal wives. Or is it daughters? Hard to tell these days. Cut the crap. I slide a photo across. Us three at the county fair. Cotton candy grins. You wrote the letters. Why? He taps the glass. Rhythmic. Truth serum don't work on cons. Elena. But isolation? It sharpens. I replay that night, the pod. The syringe. You fought harder than her. Naomi's fire. Mom stiffens beside me. Our shared hand clenching. Then the glitch, he continues. Voice dropping. You're failsafe. But here's the rub, I knew. Hacked your code weeks prior. Let it happen. Why bury a body when you can bury two souls in one?
Lies?
His eyes dance, maddened, but sharp.
You.
Wanted the swap. Insurance, like you said. But better, control. With you two tangled. Who'd believe the widow? The daughter? Perfect patsies. He laughs. Cough rattling. Patient zero? Elena's pet project. That vet? She pushed the overload. Chasing data. I just facilitated. Mom lunges for the glass. Palm slamming. Liar. I saved him. Saved? He begged to die. Dad's whisper cuts. And Naomi? Locking you down was mercy. You were cracking.
Girl.
Seeing shadows. My world tilts. Memories flood, not hers. Mine. Basement shadows pre-swap. Whispers of monsters after finding Mom's files. Paranoia? Or planted? The guard hauls him back. But his parting shot lands. Twist is, I loved you both. Too much to let you ruin me. Now wrought with the truth. We stumble out. Vomiting in the lot. Rain slicking windshields. Wipers slashing like accusations. He's lying, Mom gasps, wiping bile. Has to be. But the seed roots. Back on I-80. We detour Chicago, old haunts, seeking proof. Mom's server in the basement? Wiped. FBI seals. Trial transcripts, her emails, timestamped approvals for deadly trials. Forged or forgotten sins. Climax crashes at the old house. Deeded neutral now. Ghosts thick as fog. We break in, window latch loose. Karma's wink. Basement unchanged. Pod dark. Chains rusted. Mom boots the auxiliary drive. Fingers flying, my fingers. Arthritic. Files bloom, logs.
Raw.
Patient zeros scan. Her sign-off. Proceed. Potential breakthrough. Heart rate spikes, mine, ours.
I.
Don't remember. Adrenaline blackout, she mutters. Or suppression. We all hide horrors. Deeper. Dad's hack logs. Timestamps matching her code. He knew. Let it ride. But the real reversal? A video, grainy. Pre-swap, Mom. Alone in the lab. Dialing a burner. It's done. The glitch embeds. He'll think it's his idea. Voice to an unknown. Hargrove, betrayal squared. She played us all, coding not just failsafe, but trap. To expose him. Yes, but also seize control. I was protecting the tech, she confesses. Screen glowing accusations. If he fell, I'd rise. With you as proxy. You used me. Rage chokes. Pinned your ambition on my grave. Tears stream, dual sorrow. I thought it'd save us. And the cycle. America's wheel, power corrupts. Families fracture. Truth twists. We smash the drive. Shards crunching under heels. Fire it all, pods sparking. Flames licking concrete as sirens wail distant.
Outside.
Dawn breaks bloody. What now? She asks. Smoke curling. Merge or part. Controversial end. Neural overload. Force the swap permanent. One body. Two souls. Unbreakable dyad. Or sever. Risk madness. Bodies collapsing untethered. We choose merge. Back in Taos. Pods salvaged. Wired crude. Straps bite. Hum builds, light strobe. Minds colliding like thunderheads. Pain rips. Memories fusing. Regrets boiling. I see her first kill, not Dad's. Hers, a rival researcher. Accident in the lab. Buried for tenure. She sees my darkest, the gala. Hesitating on the leak.
Dooming that vet knowingly. Scream echoes ours.
Then silence. Awakening one body? No, still dual. But synced. A gestalt. Naomi Elena. Stronger.
Scarred. Ending?
Debatable. We write the book, anonymized. Bestseller bait, sparks debates, redemption or rationalization. Protests evolve, swaps for all, cult spring, black market pods humming in garages. Dad dies in his cell. Heart attack, or our anonymous tip to inmates. Us, we wander, therapy circles, policy lobbies, pushing ethical neural tech. Happy? In fragments. Tragic? In the voids. But free? Damn right. America's dark heart beats on, but we hold the rhythm now. And if another basement calls, we'll answer. Together.